The light has come, and I am under no laws but God's. This can be a little disorienting when, especially as you're getting more into this. Your mind's going to keep processing and trying to figure out how much of this is true and which aspects are true and what's not. It always happens. To any case, remember, this is a course in miracles, okay? So we want to remember that this is a course in miracles, okay? So that's a pretty easy way to put it. But if you're not really ready and willing to kind of stretch beyond the laws of the physical world, you won't be recognizing or performing or playing a part in any sort of miracles, because you are confined by the laws of the physical world in which you so believe. So in this, the light has come, and I am under no laws but God's fit so well together, because in that same sense, recognizing what is there is what God's laws are. So it's like recognizing the light and the truth of what God is in everything and everywhere exceeds the little confines of physical perception. So yes, when you're in that time, in that moment where you're confronted by physical laws and possibly opportunities to partake of a miracle decision, you are confronted with those physical laws that everything confines to, that everything holds fast to, and it is all like weighing. It is all weighing on that pessis. Is that what's called? Pessis is you. It's all on you. So it literally, if you change your direction, your perspective of what you believe is real, from that being physical reality to the laws of God reality, you are literally taking and partaking and being that presence that literally transfigures and transforms what seems to have was happening to now what is happening. So it's like, it's a little confusing, because you really literally are changing all the past and confining it as if it was never a miracle. Like you're making it into, it never was different than the miracle that happened. Like, this is why miracles aren't seen today, is because, this world's getting pretty good. You're actually in the perspective of, if you perform a miracle, you literally alter and change all the presence of all the past, of all the essence and people and beings being used to perform that miracle. Now, I refer to it as you're jumping alternate universes that have different laws. So in that recognition, we can say there's hundreds of thousands of millions, I don't know, no real number, of different, say, universes and timelines of experiences that you're choosing. And we can say one's way far away from completely in the definitions of physicality, and then more and more and more all the way to the definitions of strictly only knowing the definitions of what is, let's say, the experience of God's laws. Okay, so all variations in between. So as you're making these decisions, you're moving and jumping in timelines. So this gets into a whole nother subject, but you'll recognize that eventually you'll start to see, as you're making these decisions in your life, that there's more and more presence of, say, the universe is different and changing, that you are making decisions, just like time travel, if you're familiar with that. That if you go back in time, according to theories, that when you change something, it would seem to completely change the universe in front of you. And you would come back and you would be in a different place, different time, different experience, different universe, with different things happened, different relationships occurred, Back to the Future, right? So in that recognition, this happens with miracles, is because when what you are doing is literally jumping and bringing your whole soul family to an alternate universe. So it seems a little complicated, but and of course I talk about dimensions and universes in many of my other courses, but I do plan on getting more specific on those subjects in upcoming courses. But in that recognition, it is not talked about in A Course in Miracles, but you will experience it, and it's kind of a recognition of it. So when you are saying, in the sense of relying on the laws of God, this is your salvation. Like, this is hand in hand with that salvation. If you recognize that if there was some sort of event or danger happening, like, there's this altering of your mind that you choose instead, and you like lose yourself, and you completely shift and shape your reality. Like, you're not entirely doing, or you're not really there to choose. So you're kind of stepped out of that, but you are, as that dreamer, making a decision. And that decision isn't necessarily known to Devin or to your person, but it like shifts and changes. So it's very hard to talk about, because of it is an experience, and there is absolutely no evidence of it whatsoever. It literally erases its own presence of evidence as a decision is made. So even as you've heard stories of miracle workers in the past, the thing about it, what the people that can talk about it are the people that jumped into the alternate universe with the miracle worker. So it's a pretty remarkable thing. Of course, this, as A Course in Miracles talks about, a miracle is the exchange of giving and receiving of love. Now, this is what you are. Love is what you are in the reality that has no laws but God's. Okay? So the exchanging of what you are as the dreamer that has no laws but God's, it literally alters and changes what it thinks is happening in the world. Okay? So what it thinks is happening in the world is in the dreamer's mind. So the giving and receiving of love is in the dreamer's mind. It's the experience of recollection of what love is, who you are. It's the experience of what you are. Okay? So yes, miracles as the world would define it do happen. Absolutely. But unless the person is partaking or part of it, participating in it, is not going to know that it happened. Now, there's miracles that happen and people just simply remember a loving presence or a good sensation or something. They didn't make that jump to the alternate universe. Those that made that jump to the alternate universe remember the disaster that was happening in the other universe that's never happened in this one. The person that didn't jump doesn't remember. Okay? So that gets a little, I know, jumping universe, it's like, wow, creepy, woo-woo, weirdo. Okay, but that's I find a more beneficial way of explaining how some can recognize and be able to talk about miracles, and some can't, and to recognize what it really is. So it's not actually like deliberately trying to jump or anything like that. It's like literally a shifting that occurs. It's yeah, I can't explain it, but this recognition, the light has come and I am under no laws but God's, literally alters the reality that you're in. So that's why I'm talking about this. And that the presence of, like, even just that statement, I would see in this only what is there. I mean, just beautiful things like that you can read and recognize. And once you understand what this is talking about, you're actually, the insistence that this is a specific law, it's like, oh no, someone gets hit by a car and their face is bashed in. No, that goes with my physical laws. There's no fixing that. But to a miracle worker, there is no laws but God's. There's no physical laws and properties of structure of bodies and cars. But no, you can recognize what is actually there instead.